Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's demonstration about GlobalProtect. If you're interested in mobile security, we're going to show you how the Palo Alto network solution for mobile security operates. We're going to cover three things today. One, how you manage the device. Two, how you protect the device. And three, how you control the data. So now let's take a look at the components in the GlobalProtect environment. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is the GlobalProtect gateway. So the GlobalProtect gateway runs on the Palo Alto Network's next generation firewall. This is the GlobalProtect gateway. Now, what the GlobalProtect gateway does for you is that it's a place that you can enforce policies about the content that people access, as well as control and block threats that may be present in that traffic. Now, of course, there are applications that have data that people are accessing, and there are mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets that people are using. Now, how does this all come together? Being able to control the content that people are accessing using the GlobalProtect gateway to enforce policy, and extending a connection between the mobile device and the GlobalProtect gateway using the GlobalProtect app. The GlobalProtect app is available on the iOS App Store as well as in Google Play, and it gives you a way that you can extend a VPN connection to users to the GlobalProtect gateway. And this provides a way to make sure that the traffic is protected and the policies are being enforced and the content is being protected as they are accessing content from applications. Now, this is the GlobalProtect environment with respect to the GlobalProtect gateway and the GlobalProtect app. Let me introduce another dimension to this solution. The GlobalProtect Mobile Security Manager runs on the GP100 appliance, and the Mobile Security Manager adds a couple of different components to the solution set as well. So the first aspect of what we talked about as the requirements for a mobile security solution is that the first thing you need to do is manage the device. And being able to use the Mobile Security Manager to manage the device settings gives you a way to make sure that the settings are correct. It gives you a way to make sure that the network settings are correct, to make sure that the VPN and Wi-Fi settings are all configured so that they're ready for use with business applications. Now, the second component of what Mobile Security Manager will do for you is that it can understand the state of the device. So device state information is shared with the Mobile Security Manager, providing you with a way to understand, is this device in a compromised state? Is it jailbroken? Does it have any malware on it? Well, with this information about device state, it also shares that information back with the GlobalProtect gateway. So the device state comes back to the GlobalProtect gateway and adds another dimension to the criteria for policy enforcement. Of course, the policy that you use with the next generation firewall can take advantage of applications, users, and content. But now what we add with this information with device state is that we add another dimension to the policy criteria. You can say only iOS devices are able to access certain applications. Maybe you don't want certain versions of Android to be able to access certain applications. Maybe you want to write a policy saying that if there's a jailbroken device, you're not going to allow it to access certain applications. Maybe you want to establish a policy that if the device has malware, you're not going to allow it to access certain parts of your network. So where does this information about malware come from? Let's talk a little bit about Wildfire. Now, Wildfire, of course, is a way that you can check the applications to see if there's anything malicious inside of them. Is it acting in a funny way? So being able to run an application inside Wildfire gives you a way to analyze the apps and understand the behavior of that app, and then being able to see if there's something malicious in it put protection in place. Now, the samples for wildfire can come from the gateway. So as files are passed through the GlobalProtect gateway, they can be shared with wildfire. The second way that they can be done is that you can manually upload the applications to wildfire for analysis. And then the third way that you can do this is that you can use harvesting. And harvesting is simply meaning that we are downloading all the apps from the app stores and running them in wildfire automatically to check to see if there's anything malicious in them. Now, if there is malware that's found in a particular app, we share information about the malware with the Mobile Security Manager and the GlobalProtect gateway. Now, being able to share information about malware to the Mobile Security Manager gives you a way for doing malware detection on your mobile device. Remember, information about device state, including the apps that are running on it, is shared with Mobile Security Manager. With information about malware coming from wildfire, we can detect the mobile devices that are infected. We also share the signatures with the GlobalProtect gateway, giving you a way that you can get threat prevention. So that way that if that app is downloaded by another device, you are going to be able to protect that device from becoming infected by enforcing threat prevention policies that would disallow the download of that piece of malware. So we talked about three components in the mobile security solution. One, being able to manage the device. Two, being able to protect the device. And the third component was being able to control the data. Being able to have the GlobalProtect gateway and using information about device state allows you to establish very granular policies about the types of devices and the people that are allowed to use those devices to access applications and sensitive content. So that gives you a way to control the data that is being used by particular mobile devices. With that, let's now switch to a demonstration of these technologies. I'm currently using an Android device, and the first thing that I'm going to do is launch the GlobalProtect app. You'll see that this app is currently set for auto discovery. What that means is that it's going to find the optimal gateway for a particular location. I actually happen to be located inside the company at the moment, and you can verify that this is true by looking at the status, and it has an internal status at the moment. With my current policy, I have it set so that it's not going to set up the tunnel when it's inside the organization, although you can change that if you like. Now, I can also manually select a gateway. So I'm going to actually pick a gateway external to the organization, much like when I'm located in a different location, such as in the hotel. So by selecting the external gateway, we can see what happens. You'll see that it automatically creates a VPN tunnel. And I can verify that's true by looking at my status screen. And you can see that the VPN has been set up by GlobalProtect. This means that you can have the policy automatically set up the VPN tunnel. It gives you a way to consistently connect the user back to the gateway for enforcement of security policy and to protect the network traffic. Now let's take a look at the threat prevention capabilities of GlobalProtect. If I launch a web browser, and if I try to download this test file, you'll see that it will be blocked by the firewall because that it's providing threat prevention for all pieces of malware in the network traffic. So let's further explore some of the capabilities of the security policy enforcement. Now, some companies, they're concerned about the use of gambling applications. So what happens if I try to visit a poker website? If I pull up a poker website, you'll see that as I click on it, I receive a web page blocked message. That's because that with my current policies, it does not permit access to gambling websites. GlobalProtect has the ability to manage the device. So let's take a look at that. If I go ahead and pull up GlobalProtect, I'm going to enroll this device with management. That means that I accept that this device has certain policies that are being pushed down to it, and in exchange I get access to greater corporate assets. Now, GlobalProtect will first prompt me to make sure that I understand that I am now entering into a managed state. I'm going to click Activate, and I'm enrolling with the Mobile Security Manager. You can see that enrollment has completed, and this particular device actually has malware on it. You can see that I receive an alert that says this mobile device is infected with malware, and please make sure that you take steps to remediate the issue. This is the way that we do malware detection, by taking a look at the state of the mobile device and comparing the apps that are loaded on it with our knowledge of malware that's coming from the wildfire environment. This gives us a way to detect malware on infected devices. Mobile Security Manager pushed a profile down to this mobile device to make sure that the functions on the device are used in accordance to company policy. Now, in my demonstration, I pushed a policy that disables the camera. So let's verify that this is true. If I go back to the camera application and try to launch it, I will receive a notice that says that the camera function has been disabled. So that shows how device policies are pushed down to a managed device. Can't we use the information about the state of the device to make a better policy decision about what content it accesses? With GlobalProtect, you can do that. What we did is we wrote a policy saying that we're not going to allow our corporate applications to be accessed with devices that have malware on it. The way that we do this is that we apply application, user, content, and device state to control the applications that this device could access. Let's take a look at what happens if I try to access my intranet. If I log into my intranet site, you'll see that the connection is actually blocked. You see that the thermometer that's at the top of my browser shows that the page is not loading. That's because that GlobalProtect has intercepted this connection. It sees that this device has malware on it and thus makes a policy decision to deny the connection. And eventually this connection will time out. Now, you can use the same philosophy to make sure that only authorized devices have access to the sensitive applications on your network, or make sure that only managed devices have access to your corporate network. Maybe you want to set policies that disallow devices that are below Android 2.2 and older, and only allow Android 4.2 and newer. You can do these types of things by using the policy criteria that's available in GlobalProtect. We hope that you enjoyed today's presentation, and hope that you get the opportunity to try out GlobalProtect to learn what it can do for you for mobile security and provide the ability to manage the device, protect the device, and control access to data.